Hello there, very good evening and welcome to the news tonight. I'm Tracy Shilshi and here are the headlines. Opposition members in Upper House seek privilege proceedings against media houses disseminating expunged remarks of Samajwadi Party MP Naresh Agarwal. Chairman asks Rajya Sabha Secretary to inquire into the incident. Government blames West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee for the unrest in Darjeeling. Parliamentary Affairs Minister Anant Kumar says tripartite talks can be held only after peace has been restored in the region. Former Gujarat Chief Minister Shankar Singh Waghela resigns from the Congress. Party denies his allegations that he was sacked. Waghela claims he will not join the BJP or any other party. And in Nagaland, TR Zeliang wins the trust vote in the State Assembly. Zeliang wins the backing of 47 of the 59 MLAs in the House. Former Chief Minister Shirozile Lezetsu bags just 11 votes. Our top story, opposition members in the Upper House sought privilege proceedings against some media houses for disseminating expunged remarks of Samajwadi Party MP Naresh Agarwal. The chair informed the House that the Secretariat has been instructed to issue a show-cause notices.
Raising the issue during 0 hour, Naresh Agrawal of the SP alleged that youth wing members of the ruling party vandalized his house in Delhi, while a BJP worker filed an FIR against him in Meerut in connection with his expunged remarks.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी इस तरीके के माहौल को खराब कर रही है। अगर यही रही तो स्मृति ईरानी जी ने जो कहा था, दुर्गा देवी के लिए जो पढ़ा था, दुर्गा देवी को जो गाली पड़ी थी, वो क्यों नहीं आप लोगों ने लिंचिंग में लिया? मैंने अगर कोर्ट पढ़ दिया तो उस कोर्ट को उन्होंने ले लिया कि जैसे मैंने देवी देवताओं का अपमान कर दिया है।
Other opposition parties also lent support to Agrawal and stressed that the broadcast of the expunged remarks violated the chair's ruling.
It has become a favorite pastime for the evening programs in many TV studios just to berate, defame, insult, castigate parliamentarians and the institution. It has become a regular practice. Now what has been said in one TV channel that we will drag him out, the member. It's not a question of which member. A member speaks in the House. Now the channel has been named by the honorable member. That channel must be given the notice. They must be summoned.
इस सदन में बोली हुई चीज पे बाहर केस दर्ज किया जा रहा है। कैसे लिंचिंग नहीं हो सकती? लिंचिंग जो है वो यानी विंडिकेट होता है, यानी एक मेंबर को यानी धमकाने का, उसके घर जाने का, उसके घर को काला करने का, हरदोई जाने का, ये क्या मामला है? मंत्री जी आपको जरूर जवाब देना चाहिए। ये क्या हो रहा है?
डेमोक्रेसी को हम इंडोर्स नहीं करते हैं। हमारे कंप्लेंट था, आपने कल्चर का जन्म दिया थ्रू योर गवर्नेंस प्रैक्टिस, उसको काटा गया, हम मान लिया, और वो एश्योरेंस के साथ साथ यू हैव लेट लूज योर गन्स अगेंस्ट द पीपल हु आर अपोजिंग यू। ये क्या है? व्हाट कल्चर दिस इज?
Minister of State for Parliamentary Affairs Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi said the House can take action as per rules, adding that the government was against any kind of violence.
इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मीडिया भी उससे भरा हुआ है और प्रिंट भी भरा हुआ है, तो हमने तो कभी प्रिविलेज की बात नहीं करी। इसलिए जो है वो फिर भी जो सदन के नियम है, जो संसद का नियम है, उस संसद के नियम के तहत चेयर जो है वो आवश्यक कार्रवाई कर सकता है।
Dissatisfied SP and Congress members, however, walked into the well, demanding action against the media houses. Deputy Chairman PJ Kurin then adjourned the House till noon.
House is adjourned up to 12:00 hours.
After the House reassembled, Chairman Mohammad Hamid Ansari informed members that the Secretariat has been asked to inquire into the matter.
I have received notice from some members raising a question of privilege against a TV channel and some newspapers for making defamatory remarks against a member of this House. The Secretariat has been asked to issue a show cause notice and further inquire into the matter.
The Samajwadi members' remarks came during the short-duration discussion on the reported increase in incidents of lynching and atrocities against minorities and Dalits on Wednesday. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And opposition parties today alleged that the government is using money bill ploy to bypass scrutiny in the upper house. Raising the issue during 0 hour, Jairam Ramesh of the Congress demanded a detailed discussion on the issue.
So on the 29th of March 2017, this House passed the finance bill. In the finance bill, we had pointed out that a number of amendments were being sought to be carried out to other acts passed by Parliament through the guise of a money bill. Now, we were assured that the substance of the acts are not going to be changed. On the 1st of June 2017, the Finance Ministry has issued rules. Rules cannot supersede acts. If the government wants to amend an act, they must have the courage to come to the House and seek amendments to the act. This backhanded way of amending important acts is unacceptable, sir.
Green Tribunal जैसी चीजें जितनी अच्छी काम कर रही थी, जिस तरह से उसको बदलने का और बाकी जगह बदलने का काम हो रहा है, ये मैं पूरी तरह से इनकी बात का समर्थन करते हुए इस सवाल को जल्दी से जल्दी लेना चाहिए और सदन में इसका बहस होना चाहिए.
You cannot dilute the fundamentals of the act through rules. The act is act. The rules flow from the act. The act doesn't flow from the rule. So we must have a full-fledged discussion here.
Agriculture Minister Radha Mohan Singh informed the Upper House on Friday that the government had significantly reduced premium for farmers under the new Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. He also said that the government had expanded risk coverage under the scheme to alleviate farm distress.
Agriculture Minister Radha Mohan Singh told the Upper House on Friday that the revamped Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana promotes advanced technologies to accurately estimate losses and quick payments for farmers. Replying during question hour, he said the government allocates 10 lakh crore rupees for farm credit this year to save farmers from private money lenders.
12-13 में जब कृषि अनुकूल वर्ष था तो जितना प्रीमियम जमा हुआ उसका 63% भुगतान हुआ. 15 और 14-15 में मौसम विपरीत था तो 100% से ज़्यादा भुगतान हुआ. जहां तक अभी जो बीमा शुरू हुई है इसमें रिस्क बढ़ा है, प्रीमियम बढ़ा है, लेकिन किसान पर बोझ कम है, राज खजाने पर बोझ पड़ रहा है.
Members cutting across party lines raised supplementaries to highlight the agrarian crisis in the country.
What is the government action to remove the poor people, those who are below the poverty line, how to increase their financial condition in the rural areas, particularly the farmers?
Fasal Bima Yojana, it has become a squeezing machine. Have you not, in your own ministry's report says, 21,500 crore premium collected last year and claims settled only 714 crore, 3.3%.
जो किसान अन्नदाता है, ग्रीन रिवोल्यूशन किया, आज आत्महत्या क्यों कर रहा है? आज अरहर की दाल, अरहर इतना सस्ता आपने विदेश से मंगवा लिया. सरसों का दाम इतना गिर गया है कि दलहन तिलहन क्यों बोएगा? और आलू सड़ के खेतों में सड़ गया. आज मैं आलू के लिए क्या किया? आज टमाटर किसान 2 रुपया किलो बेचता है और दिल्ली में टमाटर 80 रुपया किलो है.
40% farmers have been covered under various government schemes, including crop insurance scheme. Insurance companies received claim of 5,621 crore rupees so far for Kharif crops in 2016, but have settled claims for just 65% for 3,634 crore rupees. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, Lok Sabha on Friday passed a bill which seeks to give 8.5 lakh unqualified teachers appointed after implementation of the Right to Education or the RTE law another chance to get recognized degrees. The amendment bill gives them the final chance till March 2019 to get degrees. After that, they will be in danger of losing their jobs. When the RTE Act was implemented in 2010, new schools were set up, but qualified teachers were not available. As a result, unqualified teachers, including those with graduation degrees, were recruited. They were given 5 years to get qualified for their profession. Despite that, 6 lakh private school teachers and 2.5 lakh government school teachers continue to educate without proper qualification.
सीख रहे हैं लाखों की तादाद में, अच्छे सर्टिफिकेट पा रहे हैं, तो देश के सबसे अच्छे प्राध्यापक अपना अपना विषय वहाँ लेक्चर देंगे, वहाँ मटेरियल भी होगा, वहाँ ट्यूटोरियल भी होगा, वहाँ इंटरैक्शन भी होगा, एक ऐप होगा, उस पर से लोग सवाल भी पूछते जाएंगे, हर सप्ताह वो आकर शंकाओं का निरसन भी करेंगे। तो जो स्टडी सेंटर में आकर जो होता था वो अब ऑनलाइन होगा।
The centre has blamed West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee for the ongoing unrest in Darjeeling. Parliamentary Affairs Minister Anant Kumar said in Lok Sabha on Friday that Mamata Banerjee's attitude in handling the Darjeeling issue has been improper, setting the quiet hills on. He further asserted that tripartite talks involving the centre, the state and the Gorkhaland Territorial Administration can be held only after peace has been restored in the region. The minister's statement was in response to CPIM MP Mohammad Salim raising the issue in the House.
दार्जिलिंग के स्थिति के बारे में भारत सरकार चिंतित है। वहाँ दार्जिलिंग की स्थिति बहुत ही विकट बनता जा रही है और वहाँ शांति प्रस्तावना होना चाहिए और यदि उस शांत पहाड़ को आग लग चुकी है उसका कारण वहाँ के पश्चिम बंगाल सरकार और पश्चिम बंगाल सरकार के मुख्यमंत्री जी के रवैया और उन्होंने जिसको जैसे हैंडल किया उसके कारण है।
खाद्य मंत्री घोषणा कर रहे हैं वहां के कि हम राशन रोक देंगे, पुलिस को कह रहे हैं राइट टू फूड के अधिकार के तहत हम किसी का खाना पानी नहीं रोक सकते। बाजू में सिक्किम है, अलादा एक प्रांत है, वो भी सड़क वहीं से गुजरती है और गतिरोध की वजह से उनका भी परेशानी हो रहा है। और साथ साथ मैं ये समझता हूं कि केंद्र सरकार की भी जिम्मेदारी है, चूंकि गोरखा टेरिटोरियल अथॉरिटी जब बनी थी, ट्राइपार्टाइट बैठक हुई थी केंद्र राज्य और गोरखा जनमुक्ति मोर्चा के बीच में।
Meanwhile, firing a new salvo at the BJP, West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee called for a national alliance before the 2019 Lok Sabha polls. Addressing a mega rally in Kolkata, the West Bengal Chief Minister said that 18 opposition parties came together for the presidential polls and the same understanding will be taken forward ahead of the general elections to oust the BJP from power. She announced the BJP Bharat Chharo program in Bengal that will be held from the 9th of August to the 30th of August. TMC workers will take out rallies and hold public meetings across Bengal, highlighting the BJP government's failure. Meanwhile, former Gujarat Chief Minister Shankar Singh Waghela on Friday said that he had resigned from the Congress after alleging that he was sacked for 24 hours back by the party. Waghela claimed that he will not join any party.
Veteran Congress leader Shankar Singh Waghela on Friday formally resigned from all party posts. He alleged that he was not given a free hand for the party's campaign for the assembly election. Waghela made the announcement at a public rally in Gandhinagar. A former chief minister of Gujarat, Waghela claimed that he was expelled from the Congress on Thursday, even before he announced his resignation. He, however, asserted that he had no plans to retire from politics.
मैं अपने आप कांग्रेस को मेरी ओर से मुक्त करता हूं और कदर मीन्स की कांग्रेस से बीजेपी में कोई पार्टी की नई कंठी नया ऐसा झंडा अपने गले में नहीं लगाना है। आप क्या करेंगे? Not going to join BJP.
The Congress denied Waghela's allegations and claimed he was not sacked.
सभी पदों से इस्तीफा देने का निर्णय उनका अपना है। आदरणीय वाघेला साहब ये चाहते थे कि प्रदेश कांग्रेस कमेटी के मौजूदा अध्यक्ष को हटाकर उन्हें अध्यक्ष बनाया जाए। कोई भी पार्टी किसी एक व्यक्ति की इस प्रकार की इच्छा को स्वीकार नहीं कर सकती।
Waghela was a BJP rebel who merged his Rashtriya Janata Party with the Congress 17 years ago. His attacks come just days ahead of the Rajya Sabha elections in Gujarat for 3 seats on August 8th. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
And now to Nagaland, where T.R. Zeliang won the trust vote in the State Assembly on Friday, bringing to an end the high political drama in the state. Zeliang secured 47 out of the 59 votes in the House. That included 36 votes of the NPF, 4 of the BJP and 7 from independents. Former Chief Minister Shirozile backed just 11 votes, 10 of the NPF and 1 independent. 2 days ago, Zeliang was sworn in, replacing Lizetsu, who was sacked by Governor P.B. Acharya. This after Lizetsu and his supporters failed to turn up in the assembly to face the floor test. In more national news, amid rising incidents of mob lynching, the Supreme Court has directed the centre and the states not to protect any kind of vigilantism. The top court has sought the government's response on violent incidents of cow vigilantism within 4 weeks. It has also directed the centre and state governments to remove violent content related to cow vigilantism uploaded on social media. The top court was hearing a plea filed in October last year seeking action against cow vigilantes who were allegedly indulging in violence and committing atrocities against Dalits and minorities. In its reply, the centre informed the court that it does not support any kind of vigilantism in any state.
पहले तो केंद्र सरकार और राज्य सरकार से कहा कि गौ रक्षा के नाम पे चल रही गुंडागर्दी पे क्या कार्रवाई हो रही है, उसकी सूची दी जाए और क्या कार्रवाई कर रहे हैं उसकी सूची दी जाए उनको अगली हियरिंग में.
And here are more updates from across the country in Nationwide. Petitioners prodded the Supreme Court to examine the right to privacy in the digital world. A senior advocate made a presentation on the dangers in the web world on breach of privacy. SC observed that just the act of operating the phone with fingerprint makes defining breach of privacy challenging. The Apex Court also said today that it will take a decision on early hearing of a batch of petitions challenging the Allahabad High Court verdict in the Ram Temple Babri Masjid land dispute case. A bench comprising Chief Justice J.S. Khehar and Justice D.Y. Chandrachud said that when BJP leaders Subramanian Swamy mentioned the matter for urgent listing and hearing. The bench ordered the land to be partitioned equally among the Sunni Waqf Board and the Nirmohi Akhada and Ram Lalla. On the petition of voting rights to NRIs, the centre has submitted in the Supreme Court that law is being amended to enable NRIs to vote in their own country. Centre has sought 2 weeks' time for submitting a reply in the court regarding the changes to be made in the Representation of the People's Act. The top court is hearing a batch of petitions on various issues related to NRIs' voting rights. If allowed, nearly 1 crore NRIs living abroad will have their say in Indian elections. Some international news now. In judgment in the Panama Papers case against Pakistani Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif and his family was reserved by the Pakistani Supreme Court after the hearing concluded on Friday. Nawaz Sharif and his family are accused of amassing assets abroad through offshore companies and concealing the information from tax authorities. Panama Papers leak surfaced last year, revealing Sharif and his family's assets in London. If found guilty, Sharif could face disqualification from politics. At least 2 tourists have been killed and hundreds injured after a powerful earthquake shook the Greek island of Kos and the Turkish coast on Thursday night, triggering a small tsunami. Here are more details.
A powerful earthquake struck the Greek island of Kos on Thursday night, killing at least 2 people and injuring more than 100. The deceased were tourists from Turkey and Sweden. They died after the walls of a bar broke apart and crashed down on revelers. The injured included people who were underneath a building that collapsed. The epicenter of the 6.5 magnitude earthquake was approximately 10 kilometers south of Bodrum in Turkey and 16 kilometers east of Kos. The earthquake triggered a small tsunami that caused flooding in Bodrum and parts of Kos, damaging historical sites, buildings and roads. Ferry services were suspended due to damage at Kos's main port, leaving dozens of tourists to camp outside their hotels. Services at the airport were also hit, with people unable to leave the island.
How was the...
Oh, it was terrible. We lie in bed and our bed shaking from the left to the right, and our hotel was going, everything was going crazy. So we went down, and everywhere was water. Every stuff was broken, glass on the floor, bottles on the floor, everything.
The only thing that's more or less negative is that we don't receive any information about incoming floods, outgoing floods, etc. And of course, we're all stuck in the heat. Fortunately, we're getting a little bit of water once in a while.
In the Turkish city of Bodrum, dozens of people were injured as they tried to flee the quake. More than 20 aftershocks were experienced through the night. The army has been called in to help emergency services. However, there were no reports of any casualties. Turkey and Greece sit on significant fault lines and are regularly hit by earthquakes. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And here's a look at more developments from across the world in Global Buzz. The number of injuries dropped to 46 in the gas blast in Guangzhou. The sudden blast occurred after 8:30 a.m. at a noodle restaurant in a residential community. Firefighters had put out the fire and left the scene, whereas the cleaning work is underway at the scene. Local police have cordoned off the area and imposed traffic control. The cause of the blast, though, is still under investigation. Thousands of Poles protested against a new law that allows Parliament to appoint Supreme Court judges, defying a European Union warning that the move undermines democracy and the rule of law. The bill, sponsored by the ruling Law and Justice Party, was passed by Parliament's lower house earlier and triggered one of the biggest protests since the PIS came to power. Warsaw City Hall estimated the crowd at more than 50,000, while police put it at 14,000. Israel bolstered security in the Old City of Jerusalem and prepared for possible clashes with Muslim worshippers after Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu decided metal detectors at the sensitive holy site would not be removed. The Israeli police said that extra units had been mobilized to bolster security in the Old City, while Muslim access to the Old City and the shrine for prayers would be limited to women of all ages and men over 50. Former Thai Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra appeared at the Supreme Court ahead of the last witness hearing of a lengthy trial on charges of mismanaging a multi-billion-dollar rice subsidy scheme. Yingluck was greeted by hundreds of supporters, many of whom were teary-eyed and gave her flowers as she entered the courthouse. According to Yingluck's team, 3 witnesses are expected to testify at the hearing. All right, let's get you some entertainment news now, being, of course, a Friday, and the much talked about, which, of course, has been produced by Rajya Sabha TV, Rag Desh, based on the famous Red Fort trials of 3 Indian National Army soldiers, will be released on the 28th of July. The team behind the RSTV presentation was in Kolkata to promote it, and they were welcomed eagerly by Netaji's family and the general public.
Located on Elgin Road in Kolkata, the ancestral house of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose is today a museum and research centre. On Thursday, it was the destination of the Rag Desh team who gathered here to honour Netaji.
आज़ाद हिंद फौज पूरे देश की फौज थी और नेताजी पूरे देश के नेता थे और मुझे लगता है पूरे देश के अंदर उनके लिए उतनी इज्जत और प्यार है.
Netaji's family members no longer live in this house, but they look after the upkeep of the museum and its many historical artifacts. Like this car, which a disguised Netaji used in 1941 to escape the detention of the British government and its many spies. Netaji's family members have a special attachment to this well-maintained car that they shared with the Rag Desh team.
My father, to drive him secretly away from this house on the first leg of what became Netaji's great escape from India. And this happened on the night of January 16th, 17th, 1941.
The team also visited Kolkata's famous Gujarati college, where they were greeted by excited students. It was a special moment as well for Rajya Sabha TV, that has always taken pride in its responsibility to inform, educate and provide direction to young minds.
So that was the sort of passion that the Indian National Army had, and it's really unfortunate that, you know, we've forgotten our heroes, Shahnawaz, Sehgal and Dhillon.
राज्य सभा टेलीविजन जो एक गंभीर चैनल है, हमने ये तय किया कि हम लोगों तक, आप तक, नई नस्लों तक इस चीज को पहुंचाने के लिए आजादी के उन बंद अध्याय जो आपको आपके सिलेबस नहीं पहुंचाते, हम आप तक पहुंचाने का काम करेंगे.
Ragdesh will be screened for President Pranab Mukherjee at the Rashtrapati Bhavan on Saturday.
आजादी के लिए लड़ने वाली अगर कोई फौज है तो उसका नाम है आजाद हिंद फौज.
Slated for a public release on 28th July, the film depicts the historic trials of Azad Hind Fauj members Shahnawaz Khan, Gurbaksh Singh Dhillon and Prem Sehgal, an incident that eventually paved the path for India's independence.
This film Ragdesh is trying to show the untouched fact about Netaji and also about Indian National Army. This may fill the gap about the knowledge of Indian National Movement for Independence. Akhilesh Suman for Rajya Sabha Television with camera person Prasanto in Kolkata.
Well, you can read up more about the movie on Facebook and Twitter as well. Meanwhile, finally, Vice President Mohammad Amin Ansari today released a book of poems penned by IFS officer Anshuman Gaur. Releasing the compilation titled Isthmus of Time at his residence in New Delhi, the Vice President said that poetry writing is unlike any other and cannot be done to order or on prescribed subjects. He added that poets write their impressions of the world or the sentiments they carry within them. Vice President's wife Salma Ansari also added her note of appreciation for the book. Writer Anshuman Gaur, who is also the Vice President's officer on special duty, read out a few lines of his poems.
Each poet writes his or her impressions of the world around or the sentiments that are within him or her.
I have a style and slang of my own, my metaphors and cliches, homegrown. 10 million of us speak this tongue, the smell of curry, lilting sounds and all. They teach it to kids in Jaunpur every day. English is an Indian language, I say.
That's all we have for you in the news tonight. Thank you for joining us.